Thank you very much, Fiona. Hello, welcome. This is Newsday from the BBC World Service with Nkemi Fijka and Alan Kasuja. Let's return now to the event in Paris and also the reports of French aircraft carrying out strikes on the Syrian city of Raqqa, which is the de facto capital of the so-called Islamic State. Let's speak now to Christophe Primat, who is an MP for the ruling Socialist Party. He represents French constituents living in Northern Europe. Is based in Sweden. Thanks a lot for joining us, Christophe Primat.
Good morning.
Good morning. I mean, how are your constituents reacting, as constituents outside of France?
Well, actually, they react in the best way, as they met in different points in Europe. I mean, we had a big meeting in Stockholm in Saturday. We had meetings in Oslo, in Reykjavik, in London. So I think they try to get together in order to affirm solidarity with the terror attack in Paris. So I think there was a good reaction, and it was possible outside of France because, as you know, we have a state of emergency in France, so it's not possible in France. So that's why it was interesting to see all those reactions.
You represent constituents outside of France, but there is a lot of talk about the open borders of Europe disappearing because of the numbers of refugees trying to reach the continent, most of them fleeing Syria. Do you think that this event marks the end of open Europe?
Well, it's hard to say because I think the first priority is to try to have more security inside France and inside Europe, and I think the second priority would be to have more coordination in terms of intelligence services or things like that in order to fight against the Islamic State, which is the threat number one. And then at the same time, yes, we have the crisis of refugees, but the crisis of refugees comes from the situation in Syria. So I think it's pretty much linked to what happens there. So I think we need to have more cooperation, more coordination. I think we have to fight first against the Islamic State, and then we have to make sure that we have stability in Syria. Otherwise, we will have different problems at the same time. So I think it's a urgent situation right now. And yes, but I wouldn't say that it's a threat for the youth in Europe.
What's your reaction, rather, to these airstrikes which are taking place in Syria? If Islamic State claim responsibility for the attacks on Friday and say that the reason they did it was because France was began taking part in airstrikes in September, then this is almost proving their point by attacking Raqqa.
Yes, I think that now there is a time for the reaction, the military reaction with our partners in Syria, because it's something which is different from other terrorist movements. So the Islamic State has been powerful. So they had access to different resources. So I think we need to react as quick as possible in order to be able to fight against this terror movement, which is a strong organization right now in the Middle East. So I think it's very important that we have too many fragile states in this area. So we need to coordinate our efforts in order to resist this against this terror movement.
Thank you very much, Christophe Primat, MP for the ruling Socialist Party, who represents French constituents living in Northern Europe.